The new Pedro Penduko movie is now showing in cinemas, so here's my review of Penduko. This movie is very different from the comics. In the comics, Pedro Penduko is a 20-year-old Filipino who grew up in the States and goes back home to the Philippines to meet his estranged mom, who he finds out is cursed, and the only way to save her is to be the new wielder of the Hiyas gem and beat the kapre who cursed his mom named Apo Dautan. And in this movie, he's a 30-something junkie who uses magic to win bets. But then he gets recruited by a secret agency specializing in eliminating supernatural threats. Let's talk about the positives first. I like that they had some attempted commentary on faith-based healing and how some people use that as a means to make money or profit. John Arcilla is always a treat to watch, doesn't matter if he's in an indie movie or a big old blockbuster like this movie, he's always giving it his all. And now with the positives out of the way, let's get to the negatives. The action sequences leave a lot to be desired in my opinion. This movie is really banking on a cinematic universe or a franchise because it ends on a cliffhanger, sort of baiting people into wanting more. And in my opinion, they should have really just focused on telling a complete self-contained story, and if it becomes successful, that's when you begin to branch out and think of sequels. You set yourself up to be a commercial for sequels in the first movie, and you might just end up like Universal's Dark Universe. The Mummy movie from 2017 set up so many things to get people excited for sequels and the Dark Universe as a whole, but it failed to get people invested in the movie they're watching, and this movie sort of follows in its footsteps. I point this out because this movie might just end up in the exact same spot as that franchise. Some people might say that the first Iron Man ended in a huge cliffhanger and that movie led to a billion-dollar franchise. But here's the thing, before he even tells the world I am Iron Man, Tony Stark's arc for the movie was already complete. He's a billionaire playboy who only cared for himself, but then throughout the course of the movie, he does everything he can to make up for those mistakes, becoming a hero. But in this movie, Penduko's arc remains unfinished. No spoilers, of course, I'm not gonna tell you how it ends, but just know that his character does not progress. He was a despicable junkie who had no problem hurting people in the beginning of the movie, and by the end, he more or less stays exactly the same. Overall, I'd say unfortunately this movie wasn't for me. I'm sure it has an audience somewhere, but me personally, I preferred the graphic novel.